In 1891, a single painting struck fear into the heart of the government. Not with gore or monsters, just a shadowy figure seated in darkness. Bulgaria's Prince Ferdinand kept it hidden, his ministers crossing themselves to ward off its evil. This is Lucifer by Franz von Stuck, a masterpiece so unsettling it blurred the line between art and occult. But why? Because this wasn't just a devil. It was the fallen angel himself, and his presence, unshakable. Stuck was no ordinary artist. A peasant's son turned avant-garde icon, he fused mythology, Freud and Nietzsche into haunting visions. His Lucifer wasn't a monster, it was a mirror, a challenge. What if evil isn't grotesque, but disturbingly human? This is the story of how one painting exposed the darkest corners of power, faith, and the human psyche. Why did rulers fear it? What secrets lurk in its shadows? And why does Lucifer still grip us today? Let's uncover the truth before it stares back. Franz von Stuck's journey from obscurity to superstardom is nothing short of inspiring. Born in 1863 to a miller in the small Bavarian village of Tettenweiss, Stuck displayed an early affinity for drawing and caricature. Despite his modest beginnings, he moved to Munich at age 15, enrolling in the Academy of Fine Arts in 1881. During these years, he supported himself by taking on various artistic jobs, illustrations for magazines like Fliegende Blätter, bookplates, menus, and more. This versatility honed his craft while keeping him afloat financially. Stuck's breakthrough came in 1889 with The Guardian of Paradise, a painting that marked his transition into symbolism. It earned him a gold medal at the Munich Glass Palace exhibition, catapulting him into recognition within Munich's artistic circles. The work was revolutionary, depicting the biblical cherub as an androgynous youth radiating internal bioluminescence against a vibrant, abstract backdrop of paradise. A stark departure from traditional depictions favored by the Academy. In 1892, Stuck co-founded the Munich Secession, breaking away from conservative policies and paving the way for avant-garde movements. His influence extended beyond painting. He ventured into sculpture, architecture, and interior design, designing Villa Stuck, completed in 1897-98, a Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, that combined all his talents. Inside, reliefs depicted divine processions leading to the studio, creating a mystical atmosphere where art and life intertwined seamlessly. By the late 1890s, Stuck had achieved superstar status. He taught future luminaries such as Paul Klee, Wassily Kandinsky, and Joseph Albers, emphasizing color theory and encouraging innovation. Even Adolf Hitler admired Stuck's art, though the artist died long before Hitler rose to power. While Stuck wasn't associated with Nazism, his works were misinterpreted to serve their agenda, showcasing how powerful and potentially dangerous his creations could be. The Symbolism movement emerged in the late 19th century as a reaction against realism and impressionism, focusing instead on exploring the human soul, spirituality, and mythology. Unlike realism's direct representation of the external world, symbolists used dreamlike imagery, allegories, and mythological figures to represent psychological states, abstract ideas, and internal conflicts. This shift allowed artists like Franz von Stuck to delve deeper into themes that resonated with viewers on an emotional level. One of Stuck's most iconic contributions to symbolism is his portrayal of the femme fatale, a dangerous woman who embodies seduction, power, and mystery. His painting, The Sin, 1893, exemplifies this theme, depicting a pale woman entwined with a monstrous snake, making direct eye contact with the viewer. Unlike traditional portrayals of Eve as weak or submissive, Stuck presents her as self-confident, clever, and even lethal to men. Scholar Margot Brandlhuber notes that the sin became one of the great pictorial inventions of its time, challenging societal norms and leaving a lasting impact on art history. Stuck's femmes fatales weren't just provocative, they carried philosophical weight. These figures symbolize the battle between passion and morality, often reflecting contemporary anxieties about gender roles and sexuality. For instance, Stuck's work aligns with Freudian theory, probing the darker sexualized sides of the psyche. By presenting women as complex beings capable of both allure and destruction, Stuck defied conventional depictions rooted in patriarchy. This duality extends beyond individual paintings. It permeates Stuck's entire artistic vision. While his works might seem unsettling or controversial, they invite reflection rather than judgment. As historian Joanne Burney Dansker observes, Stuck aimed to highlight humanity's contradictions, its passions and pains, through vivid imagery. Whether through biblical reinterpretations or mythological explorations, his art remains relevant today, offering insights into timeless struggles over love, power, and identity. In 1890, Franz von Stuck unveiled Lucifer, one of his most unsettling works. The painting depicts a naked man sitting in darkness, gazing intensely at the viewer while supporting his head with his left hand. His right arm is turned backward in an unnatural position, hinting at barely visible wings, a detail made clearer in an etching version of the same work. This isn't your typical devil. Instead, it's Lucifer, the fallen angel from the Bible, rendered human and vulnerable. What makes this painting so terrifying? Unlike traditional depictions of Satan as horned or grotesque, Stuck's Lucifer embodies guilt rather than horns. His glowing green eyes stare directly at you, conveying loss and envy for the heaven he fell from. An early critic described him as appalling, sitting alone in the nether gloom with incandescent greenish eyes. These eyes don't just glare, they challenge, making viewers feel complicit in his fall. Interestingly, Prince Ferdinand of Bulgaria bought the painting in 1891. Legend has it that his ministers were so frightened by its presence that they made the sign of the cross every time they passed it. Stuck reportedly enjoyed sharing this anecdote, delighted by the reaction his art provoked. At nearly 63 by 60 inches, the original piece looms large, enhancing its impact. Behind Lucifer, a faint crescent moon emits light, possibly symbolizing remnants of paradise lost, a spark of hope amidst shadows. This interpretation aligns with Stuck's broader artistic vision, exploring humanity's complexities through mythology and psychology. Just as Dostoevsky used humor to expose contradictions within individuals, Stuck employs unsettling imagery to confront viewers with their own capacity for evil. Lucifer isn't glamorous here. He's relatable, embodying the frustration and pain of being cast out, urging us to reflect on our inner demons. Franz von Stuck wasn't just a painter. He was a polymath, excelling in sculpture, architecture, design, and even photography. His versatility allowed him to create Villa Stuck, a Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, that combined all his talents into one breathtaking structure. The villa featured painted sculptures, intricate reliefs, and furniture designed by Stuck himself, drawing inspiration from ancient Greek forms and contemporary designs. His artistic range extended beyond physical mediums into thematic exploration. While symbolism dominated much of his career, Stuck also ventured into mythological depictions like Orpheus and the Animals, 1891, showcasing Orpheus taming beasts with music, a nod to classical themes reimagined through modern sensibilities. In contrast, Dissonance, 1910, highlights his wit and humor, depicting a mismatched couple where the faun recoils from discordant sounds produced by a red-haired child playing panpipes. This playful yet symbolic piece reflects Stuck's ability to blend whimsy with deeper meaning. Influenced heavily by mythology, Freud, Nietzsche, and Darwin, Stuck explored humanity's inner conflicts and desires. For instance, his reinterpretation of biblical figures emphasized their human qualities rather than divine ones. Take Pietà, 1891. Here, Christ bears Stuck's own features, placing the artist directly within the narrative. Similarly, his fascination with the femme fatale motif culminated in The Sin, where Eve becomes self-confident and dangerous, challenging traditional patriarchal portrayals. Despite this richness, Stuck's legacy waned after World War I, when symbolist themes seemed outdated. However, his influence on future avant-garde artists like Paul Klee and Wassily Kandinsky remains undeniable. They built upon his innovations in composition and abstraction, carrying forward his vision of art as both transformative and deeply rooted in human experience. Franz von Stuck's art, though created long before Adolf Hitler rose to power, found favor with the Nazi regime decades later. Hitler admired Stuck's work from a young age, even including him on the Gottbegnadeten list of those blessed by God, in 1944. This document exempted certain artists from military service due to their importance to German culture. While Stuck died in 1928, well before Hitler came to power, his paintings resonated deeply within Nazi ideology. One example often cited is Die wilde Jagd, The Wild Hunt, where Wotan, the Germanic equivalent of Odin, is depicted as a fierce messianic figure cloaked in darkness. Some speculate that this painting influenced Hitler's public image, emphasizing themes of leadership, nationalism, and mythical rebirth. However, it's important to clarify that Stuck was not associated with Nazism, nor did he intend for his art to serve such purposes. His works were misinterpreted and co-opted by the regime to align with their own twisted agenda. Hitler's fascination extended beyond aesthetics. It reflected a broader cultural trend of reanimating mythology to justify political ideologies. Yet, scholars like Joanne Burney Dansker argue that Stuck's true vision lay in exploring humanity's contradictions, not glorifying them. His focus on passion, struggle, and existential dilemmas aligned more closely with Freudian theory and Nietzschean philosophy than fascist dogma. Still, the allure of Stuck's grandiose imagery proved irresistible to propagandists seeking symbols of strength and purity. Despite these connections, Stuck himself would likely have rejected any association with fascism. As Margot Brandlhuber notes, Wille Stuck, a Gesamtkunstwerk embodying his artistic philosophy, was designed to celebrate communal values rather than authoritarian ideals. Nonetheless, history shows how easily art can be manipulated to serve nefarious ends, leaving us to ponder the responsibility of creators in shaping societal narratives. After his death in 1928, Franz von Stuck's work fell into relative obscurity, mirroring the decline of symbolism post-World War I. Critics dismissed him as a relic of a bygone era, overshadowed by modern movements like Expressionism and Surrealism. However, Wille Stuck, completed in 1897-98 and expanded in 1914-15, became a testament to his enduring vision. Designed as a Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, it combined painting, sculpture, architecture, and interior design, showcasing Stuck's belief in unity across artistic mediums. The villa suffered damage during World War II, but its restoration in the late 20th century reignited interest in Stuck's life and artistry. In 1968, it reopened as a museum, drawing admirers worldwide. This resurgence coincided with renewed appreciation for Art Nouveau and fin de siècle aesthetics, placing Stuck firmly back in the spotlight. Despite this revival, opinions among art historians remain divided. Some see Stuck as overly reliant on mythological themes, while others argue that his reinterpretations of classical subjects were groundbreaking. His influence on future avant-garde artists is undeniable. Today, Stuck is celebrated for bridging traditional techniques with innovative ideas about form and meaning. Works like Lucifer, The Sin, and Orpheus and the Animals reflect humanity's contradictions: passion, guilt, and resilience, all rendered through dreamlike imagery. Whether viewed as decadent or sacred, Stuck's legacy lies in capturing timeless truths about the human condition, inviting us to confront our inner demons and angels alike. Franz von Stuck's Lucifer remains one of the most haunting and thought-provoking works in art history. Its power lies not in its depiction of traditional evil, but in its humanization of guilt and loss, forcing viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves. Whether through the intense gaze or the subtle symbolism of barely visible wings and a crescent moonlight source, this painting challenges us to see evil not as something distant and monstrous, but as an intimate part of our own existence. Stuck's legacy extends far beyond Lucifer. As a pioneer of symbolism, he redefined artistic boundaries with his multifaceted talents: painter, sculptor, architect, and designer. Villa Stuck stands as a testament to his vision, blending ancient traditions with modern sensibilities into a Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, that continues to inspire awe today. Despite falling out of favor after World War I, Stuck's influence on avant-garde artists like Paul Klee and Wassily Kandinsky ensures his place in history. While Adolf Hitler admired Stuck's art, it's crucial to clarify that Stuck himself was never associated with fascism. His work reflects deeper philosophical inquiries inspired by Freud, Nietzsche, Darwin, and mythology, a far cry from the distorted ideologies later attributed to him. By exploring Stuck's life and creations, we uncover timeless themes about humanity, passion, and existential struggle. So, what do you think? Is Lucifer scary enough to make you want to bless yourself? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Franz von Stuck's fascinating world. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the mysteries of art history. See you soon.